Hello everyone, this is Adnan with Canvas training videos. This is part 11 of Citrix XenApp 6.5 training, and in the previous videos we saw application being hosted and streamed and being published. In this video we're going to talk about Citrix policies, and whenever we talk about policies in any applications like VMware, grow policies in Active Directory, or policies anywhere, SCCM policies, Exchange policies. Policy means one word, and that is control. You're trying to control something from policies. So same concept applies here. Just like it mostly resembles to a group policies. Now uh, citrus policies are mostly used to control uh, how users are connected to Citrix servers, how long their session should be, what should be their idle time when connecting to Citrix servers, or the load balancing policies and all that. So we're going to see that in this video. And then policies. So Citrix policies in 6.5 has been integrated with Active Directory. That's now so it is now integrated with Active Directory, which basically means is we can use GPM and GPOs from Active Directory to deploy Citrix policies as well. Now policies apply how, and we're going to see how to. So we can apply policies from Citrix Appcenter. Also, we can apply policies from from. We can also apply policies from GPO. So two things. So policies from Appcenter, from policies app, from Appcenter, and same policies can be applied from GPO. Applied from GPO. What's the big difference? So major, more significant difference is if we apply policies from Appcenter. If I apply policies from Appcenter, I'm going to show you where it is. Whereas let me actually show you here while we are connected. So I'm on Citrix XenApp. This is Appcenter. Here is policies. So if we apply policies from here, these policies will be applied to all the servers within the same domain. Actually, they are actually the scope of these policies are within the farm. Whereas if we apply policies from Active Directory, from GPM, their scope is wide, their scope is forest wide. So those policies can be used in any other domain. Now, some other advantages if the policies are applied from and created from GPOs or GPM, from GPM and GPOs, they are sitting in Active Directory. So basically, they are being backed up in Active Directory at the same time. Um, and the third benefit is that if you are migrating from one domain to another, then the policies will be automatically migrated to the other domain. While if policies are sitting in App Center, you have to separately migrate them with Citrix. So, and then they are again automatically backed up with Active Directory. So policies can be applied from Active Directory, policies can be applied from GPO. What is a policy? Policy can be a controlling user sessions, server load balancing, servers, client connections, application usage, and many more. And there are many more things that we can control through Citrix policies. Now, policies are applied when users logs on. So user settings will be applied when user logs on. Server settings are applied when servers rebooted. And policy refresh interval is 90 minutes. Every 90 minutes policy will be refreshed, or we can force the policy by using the GP update, GP update as well. Now within Citrix, we're going to see that by default there are unfiltered policies are available. So unfiltered policies are right here. If you go into policy here, you see this is unfiltered one policy, and I'm going to go into more detail, but for now, based on the slides, so we can have in Citrix unfiltered policies, filtered policy. Filter policy doesn't exist at the moment, so so unfiltered policies exist. Unfiltered policy exists. Unfiltered means that the policy that currently exists is not filtered to any user, server, or a client. Unfiltered, that policy is being applied to a complete farm. So it is not filtered, it is being applied to complete farm. Basically, this policy is empty. I'm going to show you that. But if you need to create a filtered policy that can target groups, users, client, or maybe IP address. For example, I want to create a policy. I just want to apply to specific clients in Toronto. So that policy is called a filter policy. I want to create a policy that needs to be applied to certain users or certain groups or maybe certain IP address. So that is known as filtered policy. By default, unfiltered policy exists in policy. At the end, we're going to see what is modeling. So modeling basically, policy modeling wizard is basically when you have many policies applied to one computer or maybe one server, and you don't know which policy is being applied, and there are many conflicting settings. So Citrix provides us this modeling wizard that can kind of simulate the user policy. It will simulate running the policy, and at the end it will show you which policy at the moment is the winning policy. So we're going to see that all. Before we go there, guys, just like in Active Directory, we know that in Active Directory it was policies are applied as SDOU, so site, domain, and OU. And in Active Directory it was something like this, that first of all local policy is applied on a computer, then a site policy, then domain, then OU. But when Citrix is added to the mix, Citrix is now the second level. So first local policies will be applied, then Citrix policy will be applied, after that site policy, after that domain policy, and then OU policies will be applied. So basically Citrix policy is sitting here. Now let's jump onto our console and see this in action. So first of all, this is my Appcenter. I am connecting to this environment. I have two servers, I have many applications, and at the same time my client is ready, my Citrix receiver is working. I can open any application. It will open a session on a XenApp server, and it will start working. So this is a working Citrix environment. If you're watching this video for the very first time, you should go back and watch the other 10 videos before coming to this video. So in order to make your own environment and to come to this point. Now policies, when you go into the policies, there are, first of all, this is the information tab. It's just showing you there is policies tab, and it was created on this date. Actually, yes, it was last discovery time is this date. Now secondly, in policies, there are two types of policies we can use: computer policy or user policy. If you need to apply something, some policies, some settings, control computers, we'll go into this tab and we'll create a policy here. If you need to apply certain policies to users, then we'll go here. Other than this, so I'm going to come back to this. Other than this, there are some templates available with the predefined settings in Citrix. So this is a predefined template. We can use any of these templates and then connect it to user or computer. Here you can see there is 3 are computer setting template, and there are 4 user setting templates. So we can, if you need to, now what is a template? Template has some predefined settings here. For example, this is a template of a policy. It's saying this is a high definition of user experience. If you apply this template, if you use this template, then based on this template, user management server level will be pair sharing CPU, and then default memory limit is 65 MB, and then it is image caching is enabled on this, whereas default values are this. For example, if you apply this, before this, no CPU utilization management is required. By default, only 32 MB will be given a memory limiter, but this will increase if this policy. So you get the point. This is kind of, these are templates. For example, on the user side, again, we can apply this. Then you have high server stability, you can apply these settings. So these are templates that we can use. We can create our own policies as well. But before creating our own policy, let's see this unfiltered policy. Now, unfiltered policy, as we just discussed, unfiltered policy will be applied to everywhere. So it is not filtered, it is being applied every, so you can say this is a default policy that is being applied. And uh, and so and this policy has no settings at all. So there are no settings in this policy at the moment. So, and if even if it is applied, it's not doing anything. Same goes for the user. There is one unfiltered policy and it is not being applied anywhere. Now, what is the use of this policy? We can make use of this policy by editing this policy and then start working with this policy. Or so go into settings here. You will see all the settings here that exist in this environment. So these are the settings. I'm going to go through this setting in a moment. Before going there, so computer has unfiltered settings, which is a default policy, and this policy has nothing, and it is being applied to the complete form. Or I can create a new policy. Now, when I create a new policy, I need to have that in mind. What do I need to do? For example, I need to say that as soon as the user has a connection, so just at the beginning of the video, I opened a calculator. But when I open the calculator is just open. I'm not doing anything with the calculator. So meaning it's just this session, this user, whoever is logged in here, is using a session and doing nothing. So kind of a waste of a license. So by default, all user sessions idle time is 24 hours. So if user is not doing anything till 24 hours, this session will be open, and it's up to the user, or if user closes it, still the session will remain open for a few moments until user comes back. Otherwise, session, if this is open and user is not doing anything, so this will automatically close in 24 hours, or if the user logs off, or if the computer is shut down, or if the receiver is stopped. Or if you go right here and go into Connection Center, and within Connection Center, it's showing you that calculator is working, and it's working for Citrix XenApp 1. So it's working from here, from this server. And just to verify that this client is using calculator from Citrix 1, and from on server 1, let's go to this application and see that if this, how many users are connected. So calculator configured, actually connected users, I can see the same user is connected from CL1. So basically this is how we verify if user is connecting. So from the client side, you can check it in Citrix Connection Center. From Citrix side, you can check it from the calculator. From the application going to connected users. So now if you go and terminate the session, if you go and completely terminate the session, so it is terminated. Let's say this will terminate the session. So that session is terminated, but user is still logged in. Now, why this user is still logged in, and you would see that it is gone from here. But users still have a session on this server. How do we know? We can see that user is still connected. Now, this is because we keep the user session on, so that if user opens it again, it shouldn't take that much long time. You saw that it opened like it opened in a very fast manner. Same thing when I open Word, it will open in very fast manner because the session is on. It just keeps on opening application. Or so if you completely shut down the session, completely shutting down the session will be something like that. You will click on the server and say log off. Now log off completely means that now the session is completely closed, session is given back to the server. Now other servers can use this license. Um, so, so here it is logging off. Now, once it is logging off, it means that next time when I open calculator, it will take longer time to create that session again. So here, let's open it again. Let's open this Citrix Connection Center. Now, at this time, it's taking long time. It's starting the session. It's logging on, and in a moment it will open. So we see two types of behavior here. Number one, that when a user connects, application is open, user uses the application or not use the application, session is still on, license is still used. Now, in order to control this, let's say if you have huge number of users and less number of servers, and you want to say that if user is not using this application for the next 15 minutes, meaning the application is sitting idle, disconnect the user or close the session so that other users can take it. So, so we're going to create that policy and apply it to this client saying that if session is idle, user is not doing anything for 2 minutes. So for our lab timing, we'll say 2 minutes. Otherwise, you can have it on any number of times. Let's say you can say 20 minutes, 25 minutes. If it is not used in 2 minutes, it should be closed. For now, it is open. So this is the policy we're going to create, the very first policy. In order to create this policy, we need to target these clients. We can target a server as well. So let's go here. So on a server, I'm going to go to policies here, and within policies, I'll come here and create a new policy. And this policy, I'm going to call this Citrix idle time session control. And we're going to just say that this is for our own remembering, so that just you see the name and it will show you, although it shows you the setting. Right here it's saying it is giving you some instructions as well. Whenever you create a policy, you need to follow these instructions. So you do the settings, then apply filter, and then enable it. So first of all, you name it. Secondly, now it's saying apply settings. So which setting I'm looking for? Now here, these are all of the settings that we can use in this policy. There is a auto client connect, there is auto client logging, there is connection control, there is CPU control, there is display limit, there is farm, there is so many. So this is all settings. This is active settings. So at the moment there are no active settings within this policy. Guys, the thumb rule for any policy in Active Directory or in Citrix is have one setting per policy. It is easier to troubleshoot. So here for now we don't have any settings. Now all settings are these, and then individually these all settings are for based on ICA connection, and ICA connection is between a client and a server directly. And here I can have these settings or these settings or these settings or these settings, server limits, and all that. And here you have licensing settings. Here you have server settings, a few more things here. Now, first of all, if you don't know what you are looking for, you can go to all settings. Just like in Active Directory, we can create a filter and then search a keyword and then search a policy. Here in Citrix, we can do the same thing. Select all settings and here search for the word idle. As soon as you search for the word idle, it shows you there are two policies that has the word idle in it. So this is ICA round trip calculation for idle connection. We don't need this, but we need this. So here it is server idle timer interval. But here I want to show you one very important thing is that we started making this policy in computer settings. So in computer settings, this policy won't apply because we need to apply the policy to the client. In computer settings in Citrix policy, most of the time, this special setting is for this special setting. If you do it in computer, it will be applied to a worker group. Now, so for now, just for this example, I'm going to close this and I'm going to go to users, and then I'll create a new policy. Again, the goal is same. The goal is that we need to apply idle time to this user session. So here I'm going to go to the server, go to user. I'm going to go back to computer later on, but for now, user session policy. So create a new policy. Again, we're going to name it Citrix session idle timer, and it is 2 minutes. So we're saying this is 2 minutes. So next, here I'm going to go into say find the word idle. In this case, I'm going to go here, and here I'm going to say add. As soon as I say add, so you can see here that here it says the value of 1440 minutes. And 1440 minutes in hours, if you calculate, if you go to Google and basically search for the word convert minutes to hour. So minutes to hour, it says that 1440 minutes is equal to 24 hours. So this is what I was saying, that for 24, each session idle timer is 24 hours. Now later on, I'm going to show you the same setting you won't find in computer side. This setting is only available here. So let's change this to 2 minutes. So I'm going to say 2 minutes. Session idle time will be 2 minutes. And here you see some description for this as well. So we did the setting. All we need to do, go next. Now, where do you want to apply it? Now, for now, there are no active filters, and there are all filters are these. So if you want to apply it to a specific client, you can go here and say, okay, I need to apply it to a specific client, and you can apply this for this client name, and then you can do this. But then you'll be targeting only this client. But I don't want to target this only to this client. I just want to apply it for a. Now this is we are saying this is filtered. Remember here in the slide we were talking about filtered or unfiltered. Unfiltered is by default, which is available. Filtered is when you can apply filters. So here we were saying filters can be applied to users, client, IPs. So this is what we are seeing here. You can apply filter to IPs as well, client name, OUs as well, users or worker groups as well, or access control and many things here. Now here I want to keep it open. I want to keep it open. So actually, let's go into IP settings here. If I go apply to IP settings, hold on, let me see. So here, actually, if you don't apply it to anywhere, it will be applied to. It will just like an unfiltered. It will be applied everywhere. So here you can apply it to this access control. I'm just looking for the most appropriate one. So this is the access gateway actually. So this is the access gateway, the users who are connecting from outside. Here you can go with the user as well. Here I can go with a worker group as well if you have a worker group. So in this case, so let's go. We're not selecting anything here. We're saying policy name is this. There is one configuration, no filters are configured. So no filter, meaning this will be applied within the complete farm. Now this will be applied to the farm, and if you select this now, it shows one setting here. So this is why I was saying in unfiltered there is no settings here. And here there is one setting which is 2 minutes. So idle time is 2 minutes. There are no filters for this, meaning it will be applied everywhere. And here the setting that I've selected, here is the description. So just by here you can see everything what is configured. So now this is applied. Now the second thing is that which policy has the most priority. So lowest the number, highest the priority, which means this will run first and then this will run, and if this has any conflicting information here, then this will win. So this has the higher priority, which means if I go in unfiltered and if I use the same setting and say, that here it is 2 minutes and in this it can be 15 minutes. So it will be 15 minutes. So this one has higher. So meaning this is, I'm going to move it up. I'm going to say this is the highest priority. Actually, if this has the highest priority, then based on this, the the session timer will be 24 hours. Remember, the default value is 24 hours in unfiltered. So now we're saying 2 minutes. So this is one thing. Now once, as soon as it is applied, now we're gonna, now based on this, now our Citrix policy is sitting here. So first, when the computer starts, this will be applied, then this will be applied, then this, and then this. At the moment, we don't have any Citrix policies here, so this will be applied. Now, in order to apply this, same GPO rules apply. You can restart the machine, and it will be applied. And you can basically go and run GP update. So here I'm gonna say run GP update, and now it will try to apply the same policy. As soon as it will apply the policy, the session limits will be applied to this, and if policy is applied, if policy is applied properly, then in that case, the session should terminate within 2 minutes. So it is trying to apply a policy. Now, some of the policies they won't apply unless you restart a machine. Some, I'm not saying all of them, but some of them, I've seen that in the past, that they won't apply unless you restart a machine. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go back into our connection center, and I'm going to log this user off completely so that this user logs in and it should apply Citrix policies here. So it is logged off from the server. Hopefully this is actually Citrix session being logged off, not the complete machine being logged off. So once it logs off, then we'll connect to this. So here I'm logged off, and I'm going to reopen this. So here now it is logging on in Citrix through a Citrix receiver, and we can verify that here going into that application, going into connected users. Sorry, it's a bit slow because I have this other video being uploaded. I think that's what's taking the host memory. Okay, so I have this user connected from this. So session should be open in a moment, and then we'll see the timing. So here it is connected. Here it's 55, so we're gonna check this back in 57. Now remember, idle means we're not touching this application. So we'll come back in 5 minutes, although the timer is 2 minutes, and let's see if that policy will be applied. In the meantime, let's work with GPM now. So we have seen that we can apply policies from here in Citrix. Now, if we need to apply policy, so we said in our slide that now Citrix policies are integrated with Active Directory. So now let's open GPM on this. First of all, GPM will be added. Once you install Citrix Management Console on this, you can see. Okay, I'm back. Actually, I had to pause the video. So we were trying to create another policy. Now let's check the client here. So that calculator was automatically open, automatically closed in 2 minutes. Definitely, the other choice was 24 hours, so it's not here anymore. And what we can do is we can try with another application. So let's see this application, and oops, I'm getting the error message, but it opens. So here, now this application is open. Let's see if it can close in 2 minutes. So this is 32 and 6:32, and we'll see. Now in the meantime, I'll come back here and let's open GPM. Now GPM, you would see GPM on a Citrix server, although it's not an Active Directory server, but as soon as Citrix is installed, it would install the GPM, and as soon as the GPM opens on Citrix, So it should open almost immediately, but sometime when it takes longer time, guys, the reason is that you should go and check. Actually, it's trying to find a certificate to open the GPM, because for GPM settings. So what I'm gonna leave this running, and I'm gonna go in Internet Explorer. If it takes longer time like this, what you can do is you can go to Internet Explorer options, and here within advanced and go right here within in advanced, you can go to security, and this should be checked off. This is uh, this is check for publisher certificate revocation. Just check this off so that it shouldn't check the certificate. So once this is checked off, it should be able, so it should immediately open. So once this is here, GPM opens now on a Citrix server. When GPM open, you would see few things changed as compared to the normal GPM, and that is Citrix policy modeling. This is added, and secondly, within each policy. Now, this is the policy that we created earlier in our previous session, but in every policy, we can see you can go to edit, and within edit, you can go to policies, and you would see Citrix policies here. Now, if you need to see, we can have this GPM on almost any server. The only thing is, so for example, this is my DC, and if you want to go and see GPM, and when you open GPM in this on a DC, it won't show you any Citrix. It won't show you any Citrix stuff within the GPM. In order to see Citrix stuff in GPM in a non-Citrix server, all you need to do, open Citrix CD, mount the Citrix CD on this VM, and within the Citrix CD you can go to administration, you can go to delivery services console, then setup, and within setup all you need to do is run this. As soon as you run this Citrix Policy Management, it will install, actually it will give you Citrix, management, Citrix through group policy. So here, let me open group policy on this. I've already run this once, so this is just to show you that how. Now again, here it takes longer time. Here it does take longer time. The reason is, again, I think it is looking for a certificate, and here I'm gonna go to internet options, go to advanced, go in here and check this off so that it can be opened normally. So as soon as I checked it off, now it is open. So now I can see two things there. Modeling wizard, this is a wizard that will run at the end to see compare the policies, and this is where the policies are now. So far, so yeah, we started at 32, and let's check this out. So this one is still open. Let's see, maybe it's a streamed application, maybe. Hold on, no. So it's not closing. Now this one. So let's open this one. Calculator. Actually, it was closed because it's logged in again. So let's try this out. So this is again 36. We'll check that. Check that out. Now let's understand two things here. Now, number one, we can set up Citrix policies from Appcenter. This will be a pure Citrix policy that is applied to Citrix Farm. Now, if you need to apply Citrix policies on OU or on a site or on a domain, then we need to go into GPM. So in this, now basically we have more control over Citrix policy in this. Now let's see. In here, I need to apply a certain policy saying that, let's say, I have a client connected. Here, and there is another policy called auto reconnect. Auto reconnect is a policy in which what happens is that if, let's say, on a client, you applications are working, everything is okay, and as soon as, maybe just because of maybe a temporary network disconnection, so here I'm gonna just disconnect the network card. What happens is, As soon as it is disconnected, Citrix receiver is down, everything goes out. So nothing will work from Citrix. But this doesn't mean that the session is completely closed. Why? Because of the auto reconnection enabled in Citrix. What that does, it will keep the session alive for some time unless it comes back. So unless it is too long and then the session will be shut down. But session is alive. All you need to do is to connect the network card again, and since the session is automatically there, you would automatically, as soon as the Citrix receiver reconnects, you would see all the icons and you can start. So these are all Citrix icons coming back. This is a auto reconnect automatically enabled. Now let's say if I want to disable auto reconnect for this, so I need a policy. Now that policy we can make it from within the Appcenter here as well, or I can create a policy right from the GPM as well. So I can go here and then here, let's say where do I need to create a policy? So let's say I need to create it in Montreal OU, or you can say in Canada on the domain, or maybe so domain or any OU. So let's say I want to disable auto reconnect for all users, all computers in Montreal OU. So here what I'll do is I'll create a new GPO under this and I'll say Citrix disable auto reconnect. I'll say Citrix auto reconnect is disabled. As soon as it is created, we can go to edit. As soon as you go to edit, now the new thing here is right under policy you see Citrix policies, and here now we need to decide. So same thing what you saw here in Appcenter, that policies can be either computer or user. Same thing you see here, you can have either computer Citrix policies or I can have user Citrix policies. Now as soon as you click on Citrix policy, it will show you exactly the same console that you see in Appcenter. So basically we were doing the same thing in Appcenter, but this was scoped inside the farm. But here now we can see that Citrix policies we are going to apply on one of the OU. So here this is Citrix policy and this is Citrix policy. Now what do I need to do? I need to apply Citrix. I want to disable auto reconnect for all the clients in Montreal OU. So for that what I'll do, I can use the unfiltered policy or I can create a new one. So for now there is nothing in this unfiltered policy. So let's go inside this. I'll use the same, or maybe I can create a new one, doesn't matter. So here click edit, select this, click edit, and this open is called unfiltered policy. Let's name it disable. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, this is unfiltered. You can disable. It's like a default policy. So here, in order to name it, although I can do all the settings here, which is right this auto reconnect line, but let's do it properly and let's create a new policy. So I want to name it properly so that I can see that within settings as well. So here I'm going to say this is a setting for disable auto reconnect, and then I'll go next. Here I'm going to select, let's say I can see that right here, which is under ICA, or you can search it here as well. Now here it's saying auto reconnect. Let's see what is the current setting. Current setting is allowed, which means that as soon as it is disconnected, sessions will be session and an interrupted connection can be automatically reconnected is specified. Here I'm going to say do not automatically reconnect, so prohibited. Now okay, and then so we have this policy. I'm going to say it is for everyone, next, and done. So once this policy is done, let's change the priority to higher. So I have this policy now. I'll close this. Now let's see where is this policy applied. This policy is being applied in Montreal. Now the second thing that I need to know that what is in this Montreal OU. So at the moment if I go to ADUC, you need to make sure that there should be something inside. So for now, policy is attached to this OU, but nothing is here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move my client, this client machine to this OU. How do I do that? I'll go search my client machine. So first of all, let's search entire directory for CanFCL, and also make sure when you're searching, change this to computer. So you should change this to computer, otherwise it will be searching for users. Let's search for CanF, find. So this is my client machine. I'll right click on this and say move, and I'm going to move to Montreal. So now if I go into Montreal and refresh, I can see this machine is. Now this machine is in Montreal. I have a policy set up to this. All I need to do is um, so this is this connection is not working. Actually it worked for the first time. I don't know why it is not working. Maybe we can restart the machine. I will check that out again. But for now, I want to run GP update and see that if that policy applies. So since it is a computer policy, as we know, it was not a user policy, it can be applied in 3 different ways. So there is one way is GP update, which is this one. Second one, wait for 90 minutes. And third one, restart the computer. So here we applied it. Now let's see if that policy is applied by going to GP result /r. GP result /r will give you a report. I'll go here. This is my command, and you need to know how to run this, how to read this actually. Here it says these are different computer policies that are applied on this computer. So which are the one? Computer settings are these, and these are the applied policy. And here I do see default domain policy is applied. Citrix site policy is applied, but no other policy is applied on this. Meaning the policy that we created for disable auto reconnect, this policy is not yet applied to this. Now for that, I would say I can retry the same command again, maybe with force, although force is not required because force was used for 2003 version. In 2008, you don't need force to be used with GP update. So before I restart, because then the last option would be to restart the computer. Oh, actually, okay. So this is now applied. Maybe with force, uh, it does apply. Now here we do have this reconnect the policy. Now let's see what happens. So here I'm gonna go, for now we are connected to Citrix, and then I'm gonna go disconnect. As soon as I disconnect, everything in Citrix will be disconnected. Once it is disconnected, let's reconnect. So we're reconnecting the network card. So once you're reconnected, it is auto reconnecting. It is auto reconnecting now. It is auto reconnecting. Let me kind of why is it so? Let's open this again. So disconnect. Keep disconnected. Let's say Citrix is down. Some application desktops are unavailable. Check the network connection. So I'll leave it disconnected for a few minutes, and just once, let's read through what is this policy about. So we went here, we went into policies, and we went into Citrix policies, and right here what we had was in this is it is prohibited. And let's edit this policy and see. So auto reconnect is disabled. I click. Here it says allow the prevent automatic reconnection by the same client after a connection has been interrupted. Allowing automatic reconnection allows the user to resume working. So okay, yes, this is exactly what we are doing on this one. So it is interrupted. So let's try. So office issue. This is something else. As soon as I am connected, it is reconnected. Okay, so maybe just to see for both of the policies, I mean, with policies, this is very, very common that in order to test them, properly deploy them, you do need many hit and trial to make sure the policy is working. Anyhow, this is how we create policies in Citrix. So I'm restarting. I'm pretty sure it will work after restart. So policies can be made in GPO or policies can be made in from the Appcenter. So in this video, I think this is enough for policies. In the next video, I'm going to go into more detail and then we're going to talk about load evaluators and load balancing and policy. I would say try these policies few times on your class lab and home lab. At the same time, work with other policies as well. Thank you for watching this video and I'll see you in the next video.